never be more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I could do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Well, good morning, Lufkin Central and Online Worship Community. Jason Hollinger, the campus and community minister here. And as we kick off a new week in our Jesus and Coffee morning devotionals, my Bible reading today finishes up in Revelation chapter 3. Now, this is right in the heart of the seven letters to the seven churches, and you have warnings, you have some, they hear, these positive things, some that hear these pay attention things, and these points that we should not just look at, well, this was written to those churches and we don't deal with those kind of things when, hey, in reality, we do deal with them. We go through a lot of the same things that these churches went through. I mean, just in chapter 3 alone, you've got Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea, and Laodicea is really kind of the one that a lot of people go to and look at, because this idea that comes, that this when the letter comes to them and says, what, listen, I wish you were either hot or cold, because if if you're one or the other, you could at least kind of deal with that, right? You can approach it for either perspective that it falls in. But he says, but because you're lukewarm, it's just makes me want to spit you out of my mouth. Makes it just to vomit you out, as one translation reads. And I don't mean to laugh at that or make a joke at that, because that's something very important. That what he's saying is, it's just so displeasing, just hard to swallow, hard to take, hard to handle, because it is kind of going around and not really doing anything, not really not really handling things the way they need to be handled. And how he wraps up, just really this section, and he says, I want to spit you out of my mouth. Verse 17, it says this: You say, I am rich and have acquired wealth and do not need a thing, but you do not realize that you are wretched, pitiful, poor, blind, and naked. In other words, he's saying, listen, you're saying you have all these things, you have nothing that you need, but what you don't realize is you are lacking so much. And when he comes to the end, he says, as in each of those situations in these letters, you know, whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says to the churches. So, and yes, we're picking on Laodicea right now, but each of them were given these warnings, each of these churches, and not just to point out them, like, hey, here's your flaws. Let's air it all out, and just so they can be seen and everybody can point them out and say, see, you know, this is how messed up they are. But it's this important reminder of saying, listen, if you have some things that you need to work out, that's not something you just kind of sit back and ho hum about. He's saying, listen, when you have these things that need to be handled, that need to be addressed, we do it. We do it so that our relationship, our spiritual journey can be more in tune with a type of journey that helps us to grow in Christ, but also because it helps those around us, those in those areas of influence, that helps them grow in Christ as well. It helps our churches, it helps our homes, our neighborhoods, our communities, the world in which we live in. When we listen, not just with our ears, that Shema, the Old Testament. You say, what's the Shema? Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one. And ultimately, we're to love God with everything we have, heart, soul, mind, strength, right? So all that we have. Jesus was asked later, teacher, what's the greatest commandment? And he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Sound familiar? And he said, the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. We can better love God and love people when we hear what God has to say, when we accept that we are not perfect and that we may feel like we have everything that we need. We may feel like, we're good. I don't have anything I need to work on. We can all be in that season of needing something, of receiving something, and maybe not just for our own benefits. But here's your challenge today, but for the benefit of those around you. Because whether we are at that moment in need, I guarantee you, you will come across someone who is in need. And it may be that God is blessing you with it so that you can bless someone else with it. How are you going to make yourself available to that today? Can't wait to hear and see how it goes. Y'all have a great day. God bless.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me out.
You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown.
You've never been closer than you are right now.
Oh, come on, sing it with us, Jireh. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough. You're always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough. You're always enough. You're more than enough. I don't want to forget how I feel right now on the mountaintop. I can see so clear what it's all about. So stay by my side until the sun goes down. I don't want to forget how I feel right now. Jireh, Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. And I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. Forever enough. You're always enough. You're more than enough. Forever enough. You're always enough. You're more than enough.
Already loved, I'm already chosen. I know who I am, and I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine, and that is enough.
I'm already loved.
Already loved.
I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved. Jireh, you are enough.